to stop, push it back, and end it now.
You say that in Spanish as well?
Well, I'm proud to join with all of Los Angeles to support our AWI community. It's really a shame that we even need to be here at this time when we are seeing so much anti-Asian bias and so much violence. And we are here to say, not in Los Angeles, we will not accept this, and that we continue.
Like we were on the Zoom together. And that's what I'm here.
As a elected official, what do you think you can do?
What we can do is we can enact policy which help support the community better. We can provide education programs and we can provide funding to community-based organizations to help stop the violence.
범죄 근절을 위한 대규모 시위 스타베이시안 헤이트가 시작된 예정이었지만 이 인원들이 계속 모이고 있기 때문에 잠시 대기 중에 있습니다. 그리고 지금 한인 LA 시의원, 유일한 한인 LA 시의원이죠. 단리 LA 12지구 시의원을 비롯해서 제임스 LA 한인 회장, 마크 리들리 토마스 LA 10지구 시의원, 그리고 미겔 산티아고 53지구 하원 의원 등 10여 명이 대형 현수막을 들고 선두에 서 있습니다. 그리고 집결지였던 이 올림픽 블루버드와 베렌도 스트릿에서는 지속해서 인원들이 이동을 하고 있고요. 당초 LA 한인회에서 목표는 1000여 명으로 잡았지만 수백여 명에 그칠 것으로 예상됐었는데요. 하지만 예상과 달리 셀 수 없는 인원들이 지속해서 행진 시위에 참여해서 올림픽 블루버드로 모여들고 있습니다. 이 시위 참여자들은 형형색 색의 피켓을 들고 준비 중에 있는데요. 스타베이시안 헤이트로부터 이곳이 우리의 터전이다, 그리고 우리는 하나다 등의 내용이 담겼습니다. 그리고 가장 주목해야 할 부분이 한인을 포함한 아시안뿐만 아니라 백인, 흑인, 히스패닉 주민 등도 지금 지속해서 참여하고 있는데요. 이들 역시 왜 인종을 나눠서 차별하는지, 그리고 미국에 사는 일원으로서 함께 협력해서 살아가야 한다고 목소리를 높였습니다. 그리고 이는 더 이상 아시안만의 문제가 아니라고 지적하면서 함께 일어설 것이라고 강조하고 있습니다.
인종범죄 문제가 지금 계속해서 화제가 되고 있는데 많은 사람들이 지금 오고 계시기 때문에 살짝 지연이 된 것 같습니다. 지금이라도 참여하시는 게 좋을 것 같고요. 정말 뜨거운 분위기가 느껴집니다. 이제부터 어떻게 시위가 진행될 예정인가요?
네, 지금 이 시위에는 한인청소년회관 KYCC, 유케어 클리닉, 한인가정상담소, 화랑청소년 재단, 파바월드, 아세정책기획위원회 등을 포함한 한인과 아시안 인권 옹호 단체 등이 대거 참여해 있고요. 이와 더불어서 마크 리들리 토마스 시의원과 미겔 산티아고 53지구 캘리포니아주 하원 의원, 그리고 잠시 뒤에 이제 도착할 미셸 박스힐 48지구 연방 하원 의원, 데이브 민 캘리포니아주 37지구 상원 의원, 단리 LA 12지구 시의원, 미치 오페럴 LA 13지구 시의원 등 많은 정치인들이 참여해서 아시안 증오범죄 근절을 위한 목소리를 높일 예정입니다. 그리고 남가주 새누리교회 앞에 준비된 티셔츠와 피켓 등 이제 시위 물품을 제공받는 참여자들은 이 오전 11시 이후 이제 곧 있으면 베렌도 스트릿에서 올림픽 블루버드를 따라 놀만디 에비뉴 인근 서울 국제공원까지 행진할 예정입니다. 이 행진 시위 뒤에는 올림픽 블루버드에 마련된 연단에서 참여한 대표들이 아시안 증오범죄를 멈춰야 한다고 외칠 예정이고요. 그리고 뿐만 아니라 참여자들의 접근성을 높이기 위해서 이 행진 시위 시작 지점인 올림픽 블루버드와 베렌도 스트릿에 위치한 남가주 새누리교회에는 이 무료 주차 공간이 제공되고 있지만 이 꽉 찬 상황입니다. 한편 라디오코리아는 오늘 오전 11시 LA 한인타운 베렌도 스트릿과 놀만디 에비뉴 사이 올림픽 블루버드에서 진행되는 아시안 증오범죄 근절 행진 시위를 유튜브 공식 채널에서 생중계하고 있습니다.
공식 채널에서 만나주셨습니다. 앞서서 지금 주차장이 꽉 찼다고 말씀을 해주셨는데 그럼 주차는 어떻게 하는 게 좋을까요?
예, 지금 앞서도 10시에 스티브강 LA 한인회 부회장이 자세한 얘기했었는데요. 이 450여 대가 무료로 주차할 수 있는 공간이 남가주 새누리교회에 마련됐다고 말씀드렸습니다. 하지만 그 공간 앞서도 말씀드렸지만 꽉 찬 상황입니다. 그리고 지금 지속해서 차량들이 이곳으로 접근하고 있기 때문에 이제는 차량을 타고 오시기보다 카풀을 이용하시거나 인근에 스트릿 파킹을 하고 오시는 것이 좋겠습니다. 다시 한번 말씀드리지만 이곳 주차장 꽉 찬 상황입니다. 이 때문에 이곳에 주차하지 마시고 인근에 주차를 하시고 이곳으로 오시거나 카풀, 차량 공유 서비스 등을 타고 참여할 것이 권장됩니다.
네, 주차를 하기가 어려우니 차량을 갖고 오는 것보다는 직접 오시거나 혹은 카풀을 이용하시는 게 좋을 것 같다라고 말씀 주셨고 사실 아시안 증오 범죄에 대한 목소리는 우리끼리 그러니까 한인들끼리보다는 외부에 어떻게 알려지느냐가 굉장히 중요할 것 같거든요. 주류 사회에 잘 전달이 되어야 할 것 같은데 주류 언론들도 현재 관심을 갖고 지켜보고 있을까요?
네, 그렇습니다. 사실 주류 언론들은 앞서 오전 9시부터 와서 대기하고 있었는데요. LA 타임즈는 물론이고 ABC7, MBC4, 그리고 KTLA, 텔레문도 등 주류 언론들이 현장에서 취재를 하고 있는 모습입니다. 그리고 방금 미겔 산티아고 53지구 주 하원 의원과 인터뷰를 했었고요. 이 주최 측인 LA 한인회와의 인터뷰를 시작으로 시위 참여자들에게도 질문을 하고 있습니다. 시작 전에는 많은 아시안들이 참여할 것인가에 초점이 맞춰졌지만 인원이 지속해서 불어나자 지금은 놀라는 분위기도 보이고 있고요. 그리고 사실 인원이 지속해서 불어나면서 LAPD 등 치안 당국도 굉장히 긴장하는 모습입니다. 이 길 곳곳에 배치돼서 혹시 모를 만일의 사태를 대비하고 있습니다. 그리고 현재도 LA 한인회를 비롯한 모든 참여자들은 함께 목소리를 높이자며 동참을 유도하고 있습니다. 나 하나쯤 괜찮겠지가 아니라 모두가 동참해 목소리를 높여야 한다고 강조하고 있습니다. 지금까지 대규모 아시안 증오범죄 근절 행진 시위가 벌어질 예정인 올림픽과 베렌도에서 라디오코리아 뉴스 이황이었습니다.
네, 올림픽 바운러버드에 나와 있는 이황 기자와 전화 연결해서 현장 상황 또 자세한 이야기 함께 나눠봤습니다. 오늘 좋은 말씀 감사드리고요. 지금 유튜브로 들어오시면 현재 어떻게 진행이 되고 있는지 화면으로 확인해 보실 수가 있습니다. 저는 지금 화면을 보고 있는데 굉장히 많은 분들이 그 올림픽 바운러버드 앞에 모여 계시고요. 아직 행진은 시작하지 않았습니다만 지금 피켓도 들고 있고 모두 그 스탑 아시안 헤이트 레드 컬러의 티셔츠를 입고 지금 모두 준비를 하고 계십니다. 잠시 후에 행사가 진행될 예정인데요. 혹시 직접 참여가 어렵다 하시는 분들은 지금 유튜브로 실시간 생중계 확인해 보실 수가 있으니까요. 확인해 보시고 혹은 근처에 계시는 분들은 사실 이런 분들이 좀 많이 모여야지 한인으로서의 영향력이 생기는 거거든요. 혹시 지금이라도 좀 참여를 원하신다 하시는 분들은 올림픽 바울러브드로 가시면 되는데 앞서서 소개해드린 것처럼 주차가 현재 조금 어렵다고 합니다. 카풀을 이용하시거나 다른 수단을 이용하시는 게 좋을 것 같다는 생각이 드네요. 이런 부분 참고하셔서 행사 진행 상황 함께 하시고요. 혹은 참여하고 싶다 하시는 분들은 직접 참여하시면 되겠습니다. 자, 지금 이와 관련돼서 다양한 이야기들 또 뉴스가 나오고 있으니까 꼭 한번 확인을 해보시기 바라겠고요. 코로나 관련 코비드-19 관련 백신 소식도 전해드리도록 하겠습니다. 요즘에요 백신 많이 맞으시잖아요. 네, 요즘에 그래서 그런지 확실히 캘리포니아 확진자가 2,000명 내외로 많아도 3,000명 수준에서 왔다 갔다 하더라고요. 한국에서 맞고 있는 아스트라제네카 백신을 미국의 4번째 백신으로 승인할지 검토 중에 있다고 발표가 나오면서 4개의 백신 시대가 오는가 다들 궁금해하고 있는데 아무래도 백신 양이 늘어나면 종류가 많아지면 확보할 수 있는 백신 숫자도 많아지기 때문에 맞을 수 있는 사람들도 늘어나기 마련입니다. 그런데 이 백신에 대해서 좀 안정성에 대한 의문을 제기하시는 분들이 많이 있으신 것 같아요. 요즘에 한국에서 이 백신을 맞고 있는데 과연 안전한지에 대해서 이야기가 계속해서 나오고 있는 상황입니다. FDA에서도 승인을 할 수 있을지 그 상황 지켜봐야 할 것 같고요. 예전에는 캘리포니아에서 확진자가 거의 5만 명을 넘어서고 했기 때문에 굉장히 좀 두렵고 하는 부분이 있었는데 요즘에는 1,000명, 2,000명, 3,000명이니까 일단은 확 줄었습니다. 다른 나라에서는 재유행이다, 변이 바이러스가 발생했다 이런 문제가 많이 제기가 되고 있는데 그래도 미국은 좀 발빠르게 백신을 많이 맞았고 대처를 잘해서 확실히 조금씩 나아지는 것 같다라는 생각이 캘리포니아뿐만이 아니라 전 지역 조금씩 안정되게 되어가고 있다고 합니다. 조금 더 조심스럽게 지켜봐야 할 것 같긴 하지만 이런 부분 참고하시는 게 좋을 것 같고, 캘리포니아는 이제 다음 달 4월 15일부터 16살 이상이면 백신을 얼마든지 맞을 수 있다라고 발표가 나왔습니다. 다른 주에서도 백신 관련 어포인트먼트 받고 있는 것 같은데요. 접종 원하시는 분들은 사이트 들어가셔서 내가 예약이 가능한지 미리 확인을 해보시기 바라겠습니다. 또 관련해서 백신 접종을 응원하기 위한 행사 소식도 알려드리도록 하겠습니다. 일부 식당에서는요, 백신을 맞았다는 증명서를 가져가면 프리메뉴 주거나 디스카운트 해준다고 하는데요. 얼마 전에 저희 방송을 통해서도 TL에서 시니어 디스카운트 10% 해주신다고 하셨었죠. 크리스피 크림 도넛에서도 백신 응원 행사를 진행한다고 합니다. 백신 맞으신 분들 그 증명서 카드가 나와요. 그 카드를 갖고 가시면 3월 22일부터 매일 프리 도넛 드린다고 하고요. 1차 또는 2차 접종을 맞았다는 그 카드를 꼭 갖고 가셔야 된다고 해요. 그걸 보여주면 직원이 글레이즈 도넛 무료로 준다고 합니다. 3월 29일부터 5월 24일까지는 매주 월요일 미디엄 커피도 함께한다고 합니다.
안 오셔서 곧 행사 시작일 텐데요. 안 하시는 거 온다고
여기 안회장님이랑 Where's the mic? It's in the truck.
Daniel.
The aircraft will go to the home point in 10 seconds.
Thank you so much. And what are some of the words that you would tell our community to do right now? Some of the steps that we need to take.
That everyone has the opportunity to protect each other.
지금 시위 시작된 건가 봐요. 사람들 계속 모이셔야 돼요.
Ana, Sophia. Oh, hey, how are you? Yeah, from the I know, right?
Our lifetime in our country. Everybody take a
Yeah.
Every example of violence against
Not going to tolerate it. Got to end it. Everybody can do their
many of whom did
share to stop
not.
it.
So today I say we all have a responsibility to stop racism, stop stereotyping, stop being against all people.
Can we have your full name for subtitles?
Supervisor Holly Mitchell, I represent the second district.
So do you also require and we're going to continue to do so. I mean, this has got to stop, and there's got to be some understanding of what is a hate crime and what is an incident. So we've got to do that, because the only way So can you comment for the people who live in your district? Number one, don't be a bystander. Stand up. .org. And
you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you later, brother.
Feeling good.
Okay.
First step. And also, not having a president that's right.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Congressman. Appreciate your work. Once if I can get a word with him. He is a neighborhood council resident here in Koreatown. Brother, thank you for all your work. We love the work that you do here.
여보세요?
You represent so many
네.
people. How do you feel
It's great. It's very heartwarming to see so many people out here to show
네.
solidarity for racism as a thing and racism as a whole. Obviously, there's a lot of recognitions right now, but
지금 어때요?
we love that there's so many different ethnicities out here today, not just Asians, but everyone out here. It's great to see everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much again, brother. Appreciate that. All right, so again, Stephen,
Don't worry, every single one of them. Try to take a long shot. Yeah, the horizontal.
앞으로 미국에 살아갈 모든 아시아인들을 대표해서 참여한다고 생각하시고 기회가 되신다면 지금 주차가 어렵다고 하니까 차량을 갖고 오시지는 마시고 직접 오시거나 혹은 이제 리프트나 우버를 타고 오셔서 근처에 내려서서 걸어 오시면 될 것 같아요. 이렇게 함께 참여를 해주시면 굉장히 감사하겠습니다. 행복한 아침 여러분들께 특별 생방송으로 함께하고 있는데요. 2부 이 시간 세계 최고 품질의 KF94 마스크를 타운 최저가에 판매하는 홈쇼핑 월드와 함께하고 계십니다.
거의 다 준비되었습니다. 채워주시면 저희가 시위 시작하도록 하겠습니다. We'll be starting the march momentarily. For the media who are out in the front, if you can please adjust so that our march we can march safely towards the stage on Normandy Irvine. That's it. Oh.
Hi.
안녕하세요. 힘내세요. 힘내시다고. 근데 너무 부럽다. 안녕하세요. 전단 장비 다 주고. 그래봤자 전화겠지. 드론도 띄우는 드론 주지. 드론도 개인 드론. 전 드론도 없는데. 큰일 날 뻔했네. 저기 자리에 오지 않을까요? 네, 당장.
좀 많이
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm John Lee.
네, 지금 저는 여기 행진 시위가 지금 지금 시위가 그리고 지금
Whether you're part of the Asian American community or any other race or ethnicity supporting us today, I just want to say thank you for being out here. Thank you for helping us get up good. And thank you for letting us and joining us to say enough is enough. This is not okay. We are Americans and we are going to be treated like every other American. I love this country, and for too long, we've been made feel that we are not as American as other people. Today, we are joining here today to say again, enough is enough. For too long, we've been silent. We cannot be silent as a community any longer. All right, I think we're going to start the march again, and we're going to have some people over in the park. So when we chant, say it loud so everyone can hear us. Stop Asian hate! Stop Asian hate! Stop Asian hate! Stop Asian hate!
개인을 내려줘. 최근 내렸는데.
Stop Asian hate! 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 Thank you, everybody. Let's be loud. Start. much for marching with us today. I want to welcome Hanang Youth Foundation.
정민아 아리랑 치는 거야? 아리랑 이제? 네. 들어줘. Make some noise one more time! Thank you so much for coming out today. We're going to get the rally portion started. We're going to ask all of our reporters to step down from the stage so that we can get started. Thank you, Hanang Youth Foundation.
Okay, as we wait for everyone to get off the stage, thank you so much. Yep, okay, thank you. All right, we're gonna get the rally portion started. My name is Mei Lee, I'm the co-MC.
My name is Steve King. I'm here representing two amazing organizations that are hosting today's rally, Korean American Federation of Los Angeles and Koreatown Youth and Community Center. Make some noise one more time! Stop Asian hate!
All right, so I think Steve, you want to make some remarks. First of all, you guys look amazing. I wish you could see this, and hopefully you'll be seeing all the photos. There are signs everywhere, there's color everywhere, there's diversity everywhere. This is exactly what we want to happen today.
So I'm a resident and I work in Koreatown. My name is Steve King, and it really empowers me. It really moves me to see so many of my brothers and sisters, and also from the Latinx and African American and the Jewish community marching with us in solidarity. So, you know, I immigrated to Los Angeles with my family after the 3rd grade. And for many of you can relate to my story is we felt so invisible. And this is my country. I'm a proud Korean American. But I felt a perpetual foreigner in my own country. And we want to just say today ends that. And we just want to shout, stop Asian hate.
And my name is Mei Lee. I'm a journalist and host of the Mei Lee Show, which focuses on Asian American issues. I grew up in Ohio. I'm an American, but I also felt like the perpetual foreigner, made fun of, bullied, slapped, felt like the other, treated like the other in my entire childhood and into my adulthood. But that made me stronger. Why? Because it made me wiser, because I knew this existed. But I thought it was getting better. But then in the last year, we saw that Asian hate was growing in this country. I started talking about this on my show in February when nobody wanted to listen. Nobody cared. Mainstream media didn't care. Politicians weren't talking about it. But AAPIs, we started noticing, so we started talking about it. More assaults. We started talking about it some more. More physical assaults. More attacks on elderly. More attacks on women. And my fear was something terrible was going to happen. And so it did. On March 16th, when the lives of 8 innocent people were taken, 6 of them Asian women, 3 Asian spas attacked. Don't tell me that wasn't a hate crime. And that's when our voices went silent that day. Why? Because our hearts broke together. We cried tears because of the hurt and the pain that we were all keeping in for so long. But now, why are we here today? Why are we here today? We're here to stop Asian hate.
Stop Asian hate!
We're here to say enough is enough. One more time, stop Asian hate.
Stop Asian hate.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
Stop Asian hate.
Stop Asian hate.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
All right, now I'd like to invite our first guest to the stage to speak. He is James On, president of KAFLA, Korean American Federation of Los Angeles. Give him a round of applause.
The home point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
Hyunjung Grant, Xiao Shi Ten, Delana Ashley Yon, Paul Andre Michaels, Young E Yu, Kim Sun Cha, Park Sun Jong, Dai Yu Feng. These are the names of the victims who were murdered in cold blood last week in Atlanta. My name is James On, and I'm the president of the Korean American Federation of Los Angeles. Thank you all for coming out today to say stop Asian hate. We are here not only to remember the victims of the Atlanta massacre, but also to stand together against anti-Asian hate. I would like to especially welcome our brothers and sisters from Latinx, African American, and other allies of our community. Thank you. Your presence here reassures us that the Asian American community does not stand alone in our fight against all forms of hatred and racism. And to all my Asian American brothers and sisters, we can no longer remain silent in the face of racism. We can no longer stand in silence as we are blamed for this pandemic. Racism against Asian Americans is not new. The Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882 to the internment of Japanese Americans in 1942, Asian Americans have been scapegoated in this country for over a century. We need to stand up against those who attempted to downplay racist attacks against Asian Americans. Words like, he was at the end of his rope, or he was just having a bad day, are absolutely unacceptable to our elected officials. I ask you today to help advance legislation that provides resources to our victims and provides preventative measures so that no member of our community is left behind. Today is a start on our long journey for justice and equal representation. And on behalf of more than 20, actually more like 40 community-based organizations, thank you. I thank you for joining us on this important campaign against all forms of hate. Give it up, make some noise. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, James. Hey, listen, we'd like to take a couple of moments of silence in honor of those lost in Atlanta, as well as commemorating all those who have been hurt and assaulted in any way by hate. So let's just take a few seconds here for a moment of silence.
Thank you. Our next speaker, I would like to introduce Congresswoman Judy Chu, representing the 27th Congressional Districts. Please give her a big hand.
What an incredible sight I see before me. Wow. People of all ethnic backgrounds, people of all different ages, standing here united to say, stop Asian hate. I want to thank the Korean American Federation for organizing today's rally. And actually, I am on my way to the airport right this minute to go to Georgia to meet the AAPI community. I am going to go to the shooting sites where our Asian brothers and sisters were killed. We're going to trace the steps of the shooter, and we're going to meet with the AAPI community to see what their needs are. And you know what I'm going to tell them? I'm going to tell them Los Angeles, Koreatown is behind them. Last week, our nation was shocked and horrified by the murder of 8 people in Georgia, including 6 Asian women. A 21-year-old white male chose to first shoot at a spa called Young's Asian Massage, then drove 27 miles to shoot at 2 more Asian spas located side by side. Now, local sheriffs have tried to diminish those crimes by saying he had a sex addiction and a bad day. But you know what? He had plenty of other places to go in those 27 miles. Instead, the place that he chose were 3 spas where there was no doubt that Asian women would be killed. And there's no doubt in my mind that these shootings were a hate crime. And who did he kill? Hard-working daughters, mothers, grandmothers, some in their 50s, 60s, one as old as 74, trying to support their families. Hyung Jung Grant was an elementary school teacher in South Korea. but came to America to raise her 2 sons as a single mother and was known for her kimchi stew. Sun Cha Kim was a loving mother and grandmother who her family described as pure-hearted and selfless. Sun Chung Park cooked for the employees of the spa, but worked so hard to bring 5 kids from Korea to the U.S. But in reality, this is just the latest in a string of anti-Asian hate crimes and incidents. 3,800 over the past year. And in the last year, we're so alarmed because more have been done against the elderly and the vulnerable, including 84-year-old Vicharatana Pakti in San Francisco, who was assaulted and murdered, and 61-year-old Noel Kitana, whose face was slashed in a New York subway from ear to ear, requiring 100 stitches. And that is why we in the Congressional Asian Pacific American Caucus, which I chair, are taking action. We called for a virtual National Day of Action and Healing to stop AAPI hate. That took place yesterday, and it was amazing to see thousands of people participating. I held a Facebook Live event of my own with victims and Congress members and community advocates who all spoke out and told their stories. And fortunately, we've gotten help from an important partner, President Biden. Within his first week in office, he issued a presidential memorandum to address Asian hate that instructs the Department of Justice to do more to help combat these hate crimes, and we're already urging them to do what they can to find the evidence to declare this a hate crime. But you know what? Our laws are clearly not suited for this moment, and that's why we're pushing for Congress to pass 2 bills, the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act and the No Hate Act. Well, you know what? There are many steps that we need to take, but the most powerful one is you coming together. You coming together to speak out against Asian hate. The Asian American community has been in pain for so long, but we cannot be silent anymore. So thank you for being here. Let's continue our fight, and let's do what we can to stop Asian hate.
Thank you so much, Judy Chu. I would like to say that she is a badass who fights for us every day, so thank you. All right, next up, we have Congressman Jimmy Gomez of the 34th District. Welcome.
Good morning, Los Angeles. I'm Congressman Jimmy Gomez, and I represent Koreatown, Chinatown, historic Filipino town, and Little Tokyo in the U.S. House of Representatives. And I'm here to say we gotta stop Asian hate once and for all. Stop Asian hate. Stop Asian hate. You know, it's unfortunate that it had to take a killing for people to start paying attention. We saw the rise in these crimes over the last year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, ever since Donald Trump got elected. But just because he isn't in office any longer and they kicked him off Twitter doesn't mean that that hate continues, that the hate infests, that the hate spreads. And that spread of that hate leads to violence. It leads to dehumanization. It leads to killings. So we're here to say that I might not be from the Asian community, but I love the Asian community. That I am my brothers and sisters' keepers, and if there's an attack on them, there's an attack on us, right? So we gotta push back, but we also have to dismantle the white supremacy and the ideology that's out in the public, the idea that's in the media and in films that says that Asians and Latinos and people that don't look like what an American should be is something less than, that we don't have a part in this country. But I want to let you know that this is your country. You are the future, and you're going to take this country in a brand new direction as long as you continue to show up, speak up, and act out. Stop Asian hate! Stop Asian hate! Stop Asian hate! Thank you so much for turning out again.
Thank you, Congressman Gomez. Next, I would like to recognize the council member from the 10th District representing Koreatown, Mark Ridley Thomas.
Well, thank you very much. Delighted to be here. I'm going to take this mask off just for a second because I want the haters to know that they have no place here, and I want to be unmasked when I say it. You all look good out there, everybody. Everybody who says no to hate, why don't you say it loud and clear? Wave your banner in the air just like you just don't care. Do what you need to do. Let everybody know that hate has no home here. Repeat after me. Hate has no home here. Now you need to say it like you mean it. Hate has no home here. This is Los Angeles. Pleased to be right here in Koreatown, sending a strong message that we emphatically and unequivocally stand in solidarity with our Asian, American, and Pacific Islanders, brothers and sisters, against all forms of racism, hate, and violence. And if you agree with that, just wave your banner in the air. This moment requires us to be loud and forceful against the rise of hate and racism against Asian, American, and Pacific Islander communities. Congresswoman Judy Chu and I were just talking about this. We've been on this case for a long time, starting with the Federation for Progress way back in the 80s when we were at SCLC pushing against racism. And if we don't stand up to racism, it will only get worse and worse. We have to do our job and say no to all those xenophobic zealots that we will not stand by and let them deny us our constitutional rights. We will not stand by and let them kill people with our being silent. We will not stand by and let all of that madness take place from one end of the country to the next. We say no to racism. It will not find a home here. And don't think Los Angeles is racism free. Some of those who are in Charlottesville, some of those who are in other parts of the country being mobile in their advancement of racism find their residence in Los Angeles, but we are saying no to them. Racism does not stop at the doorstep of individual community. It affects each and every one of us. Martin Luther King Jr. said it, and I believe it. A threat to justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. That's why I'm here in full solidarity. A threat to justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And so it's only through our collective commitment to fight against all this ridiculously hateful, mean-spirited rhetoric that emanates in high places. And let me make it plain, the seeds were planted in the White House, and we have to call it for what it is. All that rhetoric that Donald Trump was spewing about the China virus and all that mess, it is only clear that it has legs, and it translates into the consciousness of those who are already on edge, and we have to call it for what it is. White supremacy has to be checked at every single station. And so my commitment, as is the commitment of other speakers here, elected officials and the like, is to create an anti-racist Los Angeles. And our work must be marked by multiracial solidarity. And together we can root out racism. I believe we can do that. We can build an equitable city. We can build an equitable county. We can hold each other up. We can be arm in arm in our struggle against all forms of injustice that seek to dehumanize and diminish ourselves, our families, and the like. That's why we have to say no to racism. We have to say that Asian hate must stop. We must say stop Asian hate. We must say racism in any of its form, particularly today against the Asian American community, will not stand. And whether you are black, brown, white, red, or yellow, you need to stand up today and be counted in the struggle against racism. If you believe that, just say, I believe that, I'm committed to that, I'm working on the case, and we won't turn back. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay, next up, we're going to invite LA County Supervisor Holly Mitchell of the 2nd District. She represents Koreatown, so come on up.
Hello, Koreatown. Hello, my fellow Angelinos. I love the sign I saw that said, if I don't look American, you don't look native. Thank you, sister. I appreciate that. Because this is our country. And even when our country hadn't been good to us, we will continue to be good to our country. Because we believe in freedom. We believe in democracy. And we believe in unity. That's why I'm here today. And that's why I'm here to say her names. Those 6 women showed up to work. Like my sisters in the audience here today, we show up to work every day to provide for our communities and our families. And to think in 2021, we are still having to come out and say basic things like stop Asian hate. Do we have to say basic things like stand up for our elderly in our community? Those are basic human rights that all of us are entitled to. And we will stand together in solidarity and unity to fight for it. Are we going to fight for it? I'm proud to stand here with my fellow elected officials, but I'm more proud to stand here with you, my fellow Angelinos, because we collectively have the power to stop white supremacist ideology. We collectively have the power to stand up for what we believe in and who we believe in. I am proud to see the young children here today who are understanding that what they see on TV is not normal and not the core beliefs of the most of this country. It is not. We are going to stand up and not allow law enforcement to say somebody had a bad day and could take it out on the lives of 8 innocent, hardworking people. We won't stand for it. So I'm proud to stand here with all the sponsoring organizations who have the vision to bring us together, to organize, to give us space to express our collective will of unity. Individually, I have to say it. Every example of Asian hate I've seen, there have been bystanders. Some of whom intervened and some who didn't. We can't be silent bystanders. In LA County, if you see something, say something and do something in real time. We have to report these cases. Call 211, tell it, call the police, hold them accountable. We've got to collect data so we can justify the policy changes that are going to come, and trust and believe, because of all of us working together in unity, a change is going to come. Thank you so much, and I stand with
you. Thank you, Supervisor. Next, I have the honor of welcoming Councilmember John Lee of the 12th District in the City of Los Angeles.
First of all, thank you for everyone that joined us today. I think we all share that, today as families and communities across this nation continue to mourn friends and loved ones that were lost during the brutal shootings in Atlanta, the Asian community is still angry. We've been told over and over again that when incidents happen, that racism isn't involved. Once again, the injustices we suffered are downplayed. And this is not the first time. Throughout history, the Asian community has been made the scapegoats. Our stories have been relegated to the margins and never fully told. We've been dismissed, ignored, and because of that, we've become invisible. But not anymore. There are people in this country that continue to diminish our voice and take away our power, but we will not be silent any longer. The sleeping giant has been awakened. Today, as I stand here with all of you, I am confident of this. We will be seen and we will be heard. Our voice is our power, and we cannot be quiet about the injustices that happen to our community or to any community. In 1881, when this country passed a law to ban immigrants from China, few spoke up. In 1942, when this country forcibly imprisoned over 120,000 Japanese American citizens out of fear, few spoke up. For almost a century, when federal policies barred Asian immigrants from becoming citizens, few spoke up. But we are speaking up today. This is our moment. Our community is coming together in a way I have never seen, and we must not let this effort die down. And we must work together as a community, because there is power in numbers and there is power in unity. We must work together to amplify our voices and make sure that our leaders listen to us and hear our concerns. We need to raise up the next generation of AAPI leaders, and we need to support them so we can start to break through the barriers of power. And we need all political leaders to get on board so we can get serious about representation and regaining the trust of our diverse communities. I want to share a little experience growing up as a Korean American, and I know it's something that many of you can relate to. I was born in the United States, and I love this country. I grew up in the San Fernando Valley. I always felt very American, but the reality is that many people were not ready to embrace me as a real American. I was proud of my Korean heritage, but I also remember the feeling to need to emphasize my Americanness. Because whenever people asked where I was from, and I would say here, the Valley, Los Angeles, it was often followed up by, no, I mean, where are you really from? It's comments like these that get asked of Asian Americans that make us not just feel, but know that we are not truly accepted. It is comments like these that encapsulate the Asian American experience, the struggle to belong in a country where we are constantly made to feel like outsiders. I am proud to be an American, and I am proud of my Korean heritage, but my pride in my family's culture and homeland does not diminish my allegiance to my country or make me any less American. Part of being a true American is embracing and respecting the diverse cultures of our increasingly diverse population. This is the America that we all need to strive toward becoming, not an America characterized by fear, hate, and ignorance. Brothers and sisters of all races and ethnicities, thank you for your work on behalf of the AAPI community. Thank you for having the courage to stand with us today, to show up today, to help our voices be heard. Our community has received our wake-up call, and we have responded with vigor. Today, the sleeping giant has been awakened. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilmember John Lee, so much. All right, I'm going to be the bad cop here. We have to keep this program pretty tight. So I just asked our remaining speakers to try to keep it tight. I know everyone is so passionate about what we're talking about and the cause. So I'm Next speaker is Manju Kulkarni, Executive Director of A3PCon. Manju, I don't want to pressure you, but okay, here we go.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for being here. I want to thank KYCC and CAFLA on behalf of APCON. We are so proud to be co-sponsoring this event as a coalition of 40 community-based organizations serving LA's AAPI community. We stand with our brothers and sisters. February of 2020, there was the first incident of anti-Asian hate in Los Angeles before there was a single confirmed case of COVID. In LA, a child was attacked in one of our schools. After that, we knew we had to take action. APCON co-founded Stop AAPI Hate as a result. And 1 year later, March 19th, we have over 3,800 incidents across all 50 states and the District of Columbia. Let that sink in. 4,000 incidents of hate against our communities. Korean, Chinese, Vietnamese, Filipino, Pacific Islander, South Asian. Vulnerable populations. Women make up 68%. The women like the ones in Atlanta. We need action. We need our government to dedicate resources to our communities. We need programs like LA versus Hate. We need training for our teachers in school. We all need to stand together, and there's something each and every one of you can do. Report to Stop AAPI Hate. We are the nation's leading aggregator of that data. We are giving that information to law enforcement, to our government officials, to all of you, so we can solve this problem together. If you see something, say something. And right now, we need to all take action against hate, and we need to all demand action from our government. Together, we can stop AAPI hate, and we can stop hate against our Asian American communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Manju. Next, we have the LA City Controller, Ron Galperin.
Hello, Los Angeles, and hello, Koreatown! Are we here to put an end to Asian hate? I'm Ron Galperin. I'm controller of the city of Los Angeles. But I'm here as an elected official. I'm here as the son of immigrants. I'm here as a member of the LGBT community. I am here as an Angelino, united to say we are going to stop Asian hate. But it's not enough. Because I want a nation, I want a city, I want a community that embraces our AAPI community, that celebrates our AAPI community, that welcomes, that loves. It's not enough to just not hate. We want much more. Tonight at sundown, for those who are members of the Jewish community, which I am, is the beginning of Passover. And Passover is a holiday where we recall the evils of slavery, where we recall the evils of discrimination, of injustice, where we pray and we say we will work for peace, for justice, for freedom, for everybody. And that is what this city of Los Angeles is about, us coming together. So thank you so much to the Korean American Federation. Thank you to every one of you. And I look forward to the day soon where we do not need to have a rally such as this, because we will have extinguished the hate that is in our midst. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ron. Okay, up next is a fellow journalist and Asian sister I've known for a very long time. She's with CNN. This is Life with Lisa Lang. Lisa, come on up.
Thank you, May. How's everyone feeling? So we know we're in the middle of a crisis, but we've been here before. From the moment we first arrived in this country, we have been discriminated against. We have been excluded. We have been spit on. We have been mocked. We've been rounded up and put in camps. We have been attacked, and we have been killed. But something so powerful is happening right now. We are banding together, and I say we in the collective sense. We are standing together. I'm not just talking about the Chinese community or the Korean community, the Vietnamese or the Japanese or the Filipinos or the Thai, the South Asians. Am I forgetting any Asians? Any Asians that I'm forgetting? The Taiwanese. We are standing together. We are unified because we are Asian America. Can you repeat after me? We are Asian America. One more time. We are Asian America. And together with our black brothers and sisters, together with our brown brothers and sisters, together with our white brothers and sisters, we are part of this incredible tapestry with stories and histories from every corner of the globe. And if one thread comes loose, we can all fall apart. So we have to protect each other. Find someone right now who you don't know in this crowd. Keep your masks on though. Find someone right now, please. Find someone you don't know in this crowd and look them in the eyes and say, I will protect you. I will protect you. Please protect me. Please protect me. There are some street vendors who are here along the side. Please say to them, I will protect you. I will protect you. This way, guys. This is the way. If we keep our threads, if we maintain these threads and make sure they are unbroken, we can get past all of this and really rise up together to stop Asian hate and to stop all hate. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. So next I would like to welcome California State Assembly member Miguel Santiago representing the 53rd District.
Let's give it up to Steve King! Come on! And let's give it up to all our volunteers who helped put this together. There is a lot of good people here, but we also know that there's a lot of bad people doing some bad things out there. And they are hurting our communities. And they've attacked our AAPI communities. They have said some horrible things to our seniors. They have thrown some horrible things at our seniors. And we all know where this started. When Donald Trump began to run for president, he started off by attacking Mexicans and calling them criminals. He doubled down on Muslims, and he didn't stop there. Recently, during a pandemic, he attacked Asian Americans. And words have consequences because we're seeing it here in Koreatown, where our communities are consistently getting attacked. That's the bad news. The good news is there is a movement to fight back. And that movement is spread across the country. And it starts by fighting back and saying enough is enough. We are not going to tolerate it. It is not okay. Whether you are 5 years old or 55 years old, we condemn it. But we've got to stop it now. Enough is enough. But I will tell you, brothers and sisters, by the way, these are cool people with the signs up, right? Shake them, guys, shake them. That's right. But this is a joint responsibility to all the allies of the AAPI community. Because when you see that senior walking across the street, we cross the street, we walk with them. We have seen way too many times on TV, channel after channel on the news, where somebody is called racist names, somebody is pushed or hit or kicked, or recently thrown a brick around here. And no one stood up for that person. Not a single person stood up for our AAPI brothers and sisters. Shame on them for watching, and shame on them for not doing something about it. shame on us if we don't stand up with them and call it for what it is, say enough is enough, and join the fight. So we've got a responsibility. Everybody here's got a that's right, sister, stand up and say, enough is enough. That's right, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is... Why don't you join us up here, sister? Come on, don't be shy. Come on, don't be shy. Hey, I'll tell you what. So each person here has got that responsibility. We call it out. We stand with those who are being said horrible things to. And we stop it when we see it. It can't just be one Saturday morning. It can't just be a march. It can't just be a feeling. It's got to be a movement that leads with us and continues that solidarity, or it won't stop. Y para todas nuestras comunidades, tenemos una responsabilidad de parar la discriminación contra todos. En este momento estamos parados con nuestras hermanas y hermanos de AAPI para luchar contra la discriminación. Y no solamente ahora, pero todos los días de nuestra vida. We will stand with AAPIs. We will stand with immigrants. We will stand with LGBTQs. We will stand with Black Lives Matter. We will stand with every group out there because we will fight back white supremacy. Look, we took the White House, we're going to take the whole rest of the nation because we will not let it stand. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to be the bad cop again. I want everybody to stick around. I know you're hot. I know you're standing. But this is important, okay? Be strong, you guys. Show your toughness today. All right, next up we have Anna Minori from Homies Unidos. Welcome, Anna.
Buenas tardes, Koreatown! It is so good to be here today with everybody. My name is Anna Minori. I was born and raised in Koreatown, Los Angeles, and I'm an organizer with Homies Unidos who has been doing community intervention and peace work in this neighborhood for over 20 years now. And I'm just here to say that we stand united with our Asian brothers and sisters who have been victims of violence, who have been victims of racism, who have been victims of unjust immigration enforcement in very similar ways to the Central American community. So it's time for us to stand united and not let the media scapegoat this and point fingers at our Black brothers and sisters and point fingers at our Asian and brown brothers and sisters, because this is a racial issue. This is a white supremacy issue. So we're not going to stand for that. We're going to stand united and say the pueblo unido jamás será vencido. The people united will never be divided. Woo! Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Next, I would like to welcome LA City Council Member Mitchell Farrell, representing the 13th Council District, and also a quick message from CORE. There's COVID testing behind you, so please look for the green shirt. Council Member, a huge hand.
Thank you so much, Steve and May. How about the organization of this phenomenal event? Thank you, Korean American Federation. This is wonderful. This is visibility, where it matters and when it matters. As someone from the Native American and LGBTQ community, I understand how important visibility is. We have to stop hate, disinformation, scapegoating wherever it is found, because it is harmful. Violence never accomplishes anything. And in order to bring people together and have successful outcomes and stop the hate, we have to increase our visibility. That's what this is about. I stand in solidarity with the Korean American and AAPI community. I couldn't be more proud to represent part of Koreatown in the incredible 13th District on the Los Angeles City Council. Thank you all so much for having me. Let's keep stepping it up. Let's combat hate wherever we find it. Scapegoating and discrimination is wrong. Stop Asian hate. Thank you so much, and may God bless.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, we're almost done with the program, so stick around, okay? Just hang in there. Up next, we have Reverend J. Edgar Boyd of First AME Church in Los Angeles. Reverend Boyd. Oh, can't get up the stairs. There you go. Okay, okay.
Good afternoon. Come on, put some energy in the air. Put some energy in the air. Put some energy in the air. We came to celebrate. We came to celebrate victory and inclusion for everybody. I stand in solidarity with the Asian American, with the Pacific Islanders, and everybody who's represented across this great country. Everybody has a right to be here. If you can depend upon anybody else in their message, you can certainly depend upon the message of righteousness from anybody who brings it. I came up in the 1940s and 50s in the discriminated South of the United States of America, in the state of Florida, all the way to the South. I know what it feels like to be hated upon. I know what it feels like to be oppressed. I know what it feels like to be looked upon as being less than or not equal to. I know what it feels like to not be included. You are included. We're here to demand that you have a right to access anything that anybody else has a right to. This is a land of immigrants. Everybody came here from somewhere. Everybody came here from somewhere. We are here now together. We're going to fight together. We're going to stand together. We're going to march together. We're going to pray together. And we're going to stick together until justice runs down for everybody. Come on, put your hands together and give God some praise and encouragement to everybody. Thank you for standing tall, and we're standing with you at Fan Church and everybody else who has a right mind and a right heart for things that are right and are honorable and justice. God bless you, and keep hope alive.
Thank you, Reverend Boyd. Next, we have Sophia Cortez from the Reimagine LA Foundation. Thank you, Sophia.
Hello, everyone. Are we still here? Are we still here? There you go. I'm Sophia Cortez from representing two organizations, California Rising, which was born in 2016 in citywide town halls to organize the hatred campaign from the Trump administration, and Reimagine LA Foundation. And as a Latina, as a woman, as an immigrant, I am here to stand with my Asian brothers and sisters. Because a crime against you is a crime against us. And we have to be committed to each other. I ask you today, because I know you're tired from all the speakers, which were great messages, but I'm here to challenge you. We must be prepared to fight and organize. We must be committed to each other. Racism is a crime and an evil against all those who believe in justice, peace, and love. And be empowered from every angle, position, resource, opportunity you have. Speak against hatred. Protect each other as they belong to your own community. Only in that maximum expression of love in action can we really fight against racism, because in LA, there's no place for hate.
Next, we have a youth speaker representing the YMCA, Chi-hyuk Chang. Let's give a big round of applause.
Hello everyone, my name is Ji-hyuk Chang from the East Valley Family YMCA, and I'm serving as the Los Angeles YMCA Teens in Government Youth Mayor. Now, although I'm still 17 years old, the problems plaguing our country still directly affects me and my peers. I have seen the normalized attack and racism towards Asian Americans. I have witnessed the attacks on our elderly in our streets, and I watched as 6 Asian American women were killed in Atlanta. Hate and racism towards the Asian American community is not new. Even in Los Angeles, one of the most diverse cities in our country, racist sentiments towards Asian Americans still exist. And throughout my life, I have always been told to keep my head down and walk away when confronted. If someone makes fun of you, walk away. If someone is being racist, walk away. If someone is threatening you with violence, just walk away. And all my life, I have been told to walk away. And I believe this movement is a sign that the Asian American community is done walking away. Racism and hate should never be normalized. And it's time, as a community, to stand up against the hate we've experienced all our lives. This is not a political issue. This is a statement, a declaration to our city, state, and country legislators that enough is enough. It's time for action, and this rally is a step in the right direction. Our mock legislature in Teens in Government is full of high school students who have created and passed meaningful proposals ranging from youth empowerment to combating discrimination. And I think our representatives owe it to us to not walk away and continue our fight. It's time to work together because we are the future. Thank you so much.
I'm just going to say that's what matters. It's the youth. It's the next generation. We're doing this for us. We're doing this for them. I love hearing young voices like that. Thank you. Okay, we're almost to the finish line, folks. Next is California State Senator Dave Minn of the 37th District.
The senator traveled all the way from Orange County to come up to Los Angeles for today, so we appreciate your love.
Give it up for Orange County, please. Thank you. I represent the heart of Orange County, including Irvine, Huntington Beach, Newport Beach, some of the places where we've seen violent acts of hate against Asian Americans. I happen to be one of 2 Asian American members of the California State Senate, and I do want to take a moment of silence here just to reflect on the victims of the recent Atlanta massacre. These women were mothers, sisters, and daughters. They went to church, they enjoyed a good meal with friends, they worked hard, they loved and they were loved, and they were killed because they were Asian Americans. Asian hate is not new, but obviously has been sharply on the rise in recent years as politicians and others have sought to scapegoat us for COVID-19. Those of us who are Asian American have been anxiously following the news as reports of anti-API hate have been steadily rising. Some of these attacks have gone viral, but we know that most of them go under the radar. 1 in 3 Asian Americans have experienced some form of hate in the past year. We're being attacked in our homes, on the streets, in our businesses. We're being harassed, screamed at, spit on, physically assaulted, and yes, murdered. We're being told to go back to our country, made to feel unwelcome in this place we call home. Now, I'm proud to say that the California State Legislature is taking strong action to combat this alarming rise in anti-Asian hate. My Senate resolution condemning API hate, passed unanimously 2 weeks ago, we're authoring a number of bills that will have meaningful effects on anti-Asian bias, on collection of data, on law enforcement responses, but we know that legislation is not enough. We can make new laws, but we have to change hearts and minds. Now, most of us here have experienced bullying of some form in our lifetimes. Some of us were the victims, some were the bullies. Most of us have been in a situation where we stood by silently while someone else was being bullied. Now, the thing about being bullied is that it's enabled when good people don't speak up and just let it happen. And it can feel incredibly lonely and debasing and disheartening when you're being attacked and no one steps in to help, and yet that's what's happening right now across this country. Asian Americans are being attacked, we're being assaulted, and we feel like we're alone in the fight. When Asian Americans get screamed at and spit on in public and no one steps up to help, we feel alone in this fight. When 6 Asian women are murdered and the response of the local sheriff is to say that their murderer was having a really bad day, we feel alone in this fight. So what we need right now is this. We need for good people like all of you to stand up and to loudly and unequivocally condemn hate of any kind. Asian Americans are tired of being the invisible minority in this country, and we're asking you, we're begging you to stand with us loudly and decisively in denouncing hate. We need your voices to stand with us. Now, I want to be clear, APIs are not the only community that have experienced racism and hate in recent years. The alarming rise of racism has coincided with a concomitant increase in hate attacks against all different marginalized communities. We've seen Muslims, Jews, the LGBTQ community, African Americans, Latinos, and so many others being targeted. But make no mistake, we outnumber them. Good people who believe in our values of kindness and love and inclusivity outnumber those bad people who want to divide us based on race, hate, and division. And if we stand together in solidarity, we will prevail. So I'm grateful to all of you for being here. When you see something, call it out. Please stand up for us. We are begging you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave. Okay, just 2 more speakers to go, folks, so hang in there. Next is Irvine Vice Mayor Tammy Kim, so she drove all the way from Orange County too. She's an Asian sister, progressive in politics, so give her a round of applause.
Tammy! Tammy Kim! Woo!
OC in the house! So listen here, as we close up, we have to remember that attacks on our Asian community is an attack on all of us. And no longer can we as Asian Americans be complicit in upholding institutions of white supremacy. And we can no longer accept the normalization of being treated as perpetual foreigners in this country. And we can no longer be bystanders. We must be allies with our black and brown brothers and sisters. And we can no longer accept the perpetual fetishization and hypersexualization of our Asian women. So do not live here and think this is the end. This is not the end. This is just the beginning. So leave here in peace. And thank you for being here. Thank you.
Let's give another big round of applause for Vice Mayor Tammy Kim. On behalf of the organizers, we want to thank all of you for coming. Our final speaker of today's march is our chairman of the Korean American Federation of Los Angeles, Mr. Young Kim.
영어로만 해서 많이 답답하셨죠? 저는 현재 LA 로스앤젤레스 한인회 이사장을 맡고 있는 영킴이라고 합니다. 사실 제가 이 자리에 선 거는 저희 대한민국의 총영사님이 이 자리에 서서 마지막 파이널 피널을 하셔야 되는데 그분이 우리를 대한민국 국민이라고 생각 안 하시는 모양이에요. 속상하죠. 여러분, 우리는 정말 많이 참고 살았어요. 말도 안 통하고 모든 게 낯선 미국 땅에서 우리 한인타운을 만들고 우리 가족을 위해 정말 열심히 일하며 살아왔습니다. LA에 사는 저희뿐만 아니라 아틀란타를 포함해 미국의 모든 한인들이 그렇게 하루하루 최선을 다해 살아가고 있습니다. 지난 16일에 아틀란타에서 한인 4분을 포함해서 8명의 고귀한 생명이 사라졌습니다. 그분들이 무슨 잘못을 했습니까? 그분들이 왜 돌아가셨어야만 했습니까? 그들을 저격한 사람은 로버트 롱이지만 저는 그가 아시안을 주목하며 범죄까지 저지게 만든 이 미국 사회의 인종차별이 그 주범이 아닐까 생각합니다. 흑인, 백인, 라티노, 우리 모두는 생김새도 다르고 고향도 다르지만 우리는 모두가 어우러져 같이 살아가는 이웃이고 친구라고 생각합니다. 이제 우리가 한 목소리로 아시안 중호범죄를 규탄하고 아틀란타 총격 피해자뿐만 아니라 그동안 중호범죄의 피해자가 되었던 모든 피해자들을 위해서 이제 그만 모든 중호범죄와 인종차별을 이제 그만해야 합니다. 앞으로도 지속적으로 저희 로스앤젤레스 한인회는 저희 동포 여러분들을 대표해서 눈과 귀와 입이 돼서 많은 언론들한테 저희들의 이 불편한 상황들을 많이 전달하여서 저희들의 목소리와 저희들의 권익을 주장하는 데 노력하겠습니다. 마지막으로 저도 영어를 조금 섞겠습니다. On behalf of the Korean American Federation of Los Angeles and over 40 community-based organization, thank you for you coming out today to lend your voice to this important movement. Thank you very much. Together, we'll be strong when we're united. 감사합니다.
Thank you so much. And thank you to CAFLA for organizing this terrific event. And thank you all for coming out and standing in this heat and marching and showing your solidarity and unity. This is a moment, but let's turn it into a movement that's sustainable, that creates sustainable, permanent change to stop Asian hate, to stop hate. Because this world doesn't need any more hate, right? And you know what? I saw a sign that said, F your bad day. Yeah, you know what? We've all had bad days because of hate, but let's stamp it out and do what we can together. Speak up, speak out, everyone.
So thank you so much for coming out today. 감사합니다. 오늘 나와주셔서 대단히 감사합니다. So the road behind you has been cleared. Please make sure to pick up any trash. We do not want to litter. So please, on your way back to the church parking lot or to your home, please pick up. And while you're leaving, our amazing youth, Harang Youth Foundation will be playing another song. So thank you so much for coming. And COVID testing is available by Core. Thank you, everybody. Stop Asian hate!
Stop Asian hate!